show. And also, I'm so excited about first introducing my co host, Paul Hollis, author of the Hollow Man series, owner of Hollow Man Publishing and American Me VA. Paul, how are you? And know you're excited about our guest.
Oh, very excited. I can tell you that CJ is like a an all-around person. She is a CEO of multiple corporations at one time or another, board members, a danger expert, an award-winning author, and so on. I mean, there's so many things. So welcome, CJ.
So much for having me. I really appreciate it, guys.
Well, appreciated talking with you, CJ. So let's kind of jump into specifically your latest heroic parenting and how did that start? How did that develop? And some of your background too.
Sure, sure. I was a victim of child abuse and two teen sexual assaults myself. And in 1990, I took my power back and I became an advocate for victims of crime. And I got tired of dealing, by 1999, I got tired of dealing with crime after it happened. So I started building companies that were going to address crime to keep it from happening to people. I became very passionate about child advocacy, as you can imagine, over the years. And then I had grandkids and I started having nightmares about every awful thing that could happen to them. And so I used my training from my as a photojournalist in the Marine Corps to write now my fifth book. The first two were badass parenting and heroic parenting for parents of kids 0 to 9. And then the most recent one that came out a few weeks ago was raising badass kids, and that's for parents of tweens and teens.
Okay, so talk a little what to expect in those books, but then also what are you doing besides the writing? I know you're helping people in other ways too.
Yes, absolutely. The books cover who the predators are, what the dangers are, everything from bullying and cyberbullying to online dangers where crime is going up in a seriously bad way, sexual molestation and assault, kidnapping, and sex trafficking. And then I break it down by age group and how parents can have the conversations with their kids about what the dangers are without scaring them to death.
Wow. Okay. So I when I had the tutoring business years ago, spoke about the dangers of cyberbullying, but also the dangers of online and what was expected compared to now. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's really scary because the conversations the kids are having, they aren't wanting to be monitored kids like they were maybe 10 years ago, and how it's worse. So talk about some of those things that are happening. It's really bad.
It's really bad. It's people teach kids about stranger danger when in fact strangers commit less than 7% of crimes against kids in the real world. But online, it's a different story. Kids can run into people they think are children their own age, that they're having conversations with, and it could be a 50-year-old dude sitting in his underwear eating a bag of Cheetos at his computer, communicating with this 14-year-old girl. So there's problems with sexting, with sextortion, with cyberbullying, with disinformation. I mean, there's just so much going on online that it's like the wild, wild west right now. One of the ways I'm addressing that, you asked a question a minute ago, I'm creating two online courses, one for parents, where I basically cover the content in my book through videos, and the other will be for kids, where I have the conversations with them about what they need to know. Because parents tell me their main concern is they don't know how to have the danger conversation with their kids or what to say. So I'm going to say it for them, and then they can talk about it as a family.
Wow, that's definitely important because of that. How many of these horror stories you're hearing about? How can parents stop this from happening so that it doesn't get to that point where, God forbid, their child is endangered, either
Yeah.
online or going, God forbid, in person with that person?
Talking with their kids. I mean, there are things you can do when your baby's in diapers to teach them about body autonomy and using the word no in a safe way, because kids will say no all the time anyway. Teach them to use it to empower themselves. Teaching them to trust their intuition, to have strong boundaries and how to defend them. I also teach in my books and in my online courses how kids can use my rabid Tasmanian devil moves, my Taz moves, to defend themselves using just their bodily weapons and without knowing any formal martial arts or self-defense moves to get away from a predator.
And are you providing coaching as well for people that want to go deeper into the books?
Yes, I am. I'm a parent coach as well. Through my online courses, I'm building group coaching programs and community. So folks will have access to that too, so they can also get peer support.
And that's the interesting thing, finding families that really are concerned about this. How do are you getting a lot of referrals to build this group coaching program, or are you more finding them just from just they're finding you? Are you seeing a
I have a combination of both. I'm online, I'm on the social media channels, but I also, most importantly, have a partnership with Bark, BARK.US, which is the world's leading parental monitoring app company. And I'm a brand ambassador for them. And they are going to market my books and courses to their millions of safety conscious parents.
That's fantastic. And that's the big thing. When you're coaching them, it's talking to your kids is the big thing. When they come to you, a lot of times these group coaching programs, are you shocked to hear what parents are saying it's happening, or you just have done the research and understand what's happening?
Done the research. I also have a master's degree in human violence. And so pretty much nothing phases me when it comes to, dangerous topics. And I've lived a lot of it myself. What shocks me is how little information there how little trustworthy information there is out there for parents in a way that they can easily consume. They have to do a lot of searching to find the answers for what they're looking for, which is the reason why I wrote the books and why I'm creating the online courses, to make it easier for them to get access to this information that they desperately need.
They totally need it, and without it, I mean, it's terrible. And I guess the biggest thing to look out line is don't let your kids keep their device, especially if it's their device and they're 14, 15, 16. You should be able to monitor that device, but also you should be like saying, hey, I'm not going to snitch on you a little thing or get involved in your friends, but I'm going to really go deeper into things that I might be concerned about. Because I think a lot of times parents that are too protective lead it to, well, the reason I'm protecting your device is not to find out if you lied to me 2 days ago on some little thing. I'm protecting your device because of the real bad things that are happening. Are you teaching parents to see that, really look at the big issues that are happening, that or little things are going to lead to big things versus something little that's going to stay little?
That's why I recommend every parent use a parental monitoring app. Bark is the one that I prefer, but there are others out there as well. Because then you don't just spy on your child; they monitor the activity and pull out anything that's inappropriate or dangerous, and they notify the parents so that they can take action to protect their child. So you don't have to thumb through your kid's phone every night. But speaking of your kid's phone at night, parents let their kids take their gaming systems and their phones and their tablets to bed with them at night, which is like inviting predators into a child's bedroom. Parents, the number one tip for parents is always take your kids' electronic devices, all of them, away from them at night. First of all, it'll make them go to sleep faster and get more rest. But secondly, it's a major protective factor.
All right. Best place people can find information on you, CJ, where can they go?
Thebadassgrandma.com.
All right.
Thebadassgrandma.com.
You're fantastic. Thanks again for stopping by.
Thank you so much,
All right.
guys.
You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back.